Hi, everybody. Once again, welcome to Film Nobs. I am your co-host, Barry B-Man Benning, and across from me...
Richard the Morganator Morgan.
And Richard the Morganator Morgan, let me ask you a question. What has been going on since the last time we sat across from each other to do a show? Have you seen anything, or is there any interesting news that we can start off with? We can kind of break the ice with.
Well, for all the fans of the DCEU out there, it looks like there is hope for the Suicide Squad 2 movie. Apparently, Will Smith had bowed out of reprising the Deadshot role.
Yeah. So what would he have? Well, what was the reason? Did he chicken out, or was there another role? Do we know?
I don't know. It may have been a scheduling conflict. I don't know. But we have Idris Elba stepping in.
Interesting. Elba for Smith. So let me ask you: Does this improve the chances for a good movie, or not, as far as you're concerned?
I would say at least equal.
Yeah, Idris pretty good actor. I see, for some reason, and I'm not I don't know a whole lot about Suicide Squad. Maybe I should shut up. But it just seems to me at first, when I first saw that, I was like, okay, I can go along with that. That might work a little bit better.
I'm still worried about, the script details, of course.
That's probably, that's going to be more important probably than whether it's Idris Elba or Will Smith.
But it does give me hope that, the movie, if it hinges upon him, I would say would be carried fairly well compared to somebody else they may have named that maybe couldn't have carried it on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah. I would say, yeah, as far as a fill-in, possibilities right now, I can't, he's probably as good as you could want to replace him. So I guess we shall find out.
We shall.
So I don't know when the drop date for that supposedly is. Do you 20? I don't know if it's. I have no idea.
So August the 6th, 2021. August
of 2020. So we'll have a couple of years to mull this over.
Right.
Okay. Well.
So late summer. Right as these summer blockbusters are trailing off.
Right. End with I'm just going. No, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy on this movie, and who knows?
So hopefully, Suicide Squad won't be going on a suicide mission.
Right. Exactly. What else?
So what about you? What have you come across? Seen?
What have I come up with? I managed to see a movie that I should have seen in the theater. Probably. Well, I definitely should have seen it. I finally caught this year's best documentary winner, Free Solo, about and I again we're starting off on a good note today. I can't remember the climber's name, but it's the mountain climber that climbed the El Capitan mountain as solo without any kind of equipment whatsoever, just free climb that thing. It's stunning. I watched this movie, and okay, here's a spoiler alert. If you don't know what happened here, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to run away or turn, or skip forward a little bit. Okay, I think I've given you enough warning. So the guy is fine. He's and I knew that he makes it. But even knowing that, watching that on the television, I was looking at my hands at the end of the movie during the final climb, and I was sweating. My palms were sweaty. It was gross. I was worried. I could feel my heart beating. And, I was watching on my TV. I can only imagine what it would have been like to watch this movie like on IMAX.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably would have passed out in this,
fall out of your chair.
Right. And, I would have worried about him falling off the mountain. I would have fell completely, onto the sticky theater floor. I definitely, though, as far as the movie, I highly recommend it. It's a very deserving winner. It's just a very exhilarating movie.
It was a shot in first person POV.
No, he didn't. He didn't have a camera on him. He had enough to worry about with, just using his hands and feet to get scale up that mountain. But they had cameras all over the place. Although I want to say that, that was a big concern actually during the movie. Is to, for one, a lot of the people shooting this film were friends of his and knew, and it came up, and rightfully so, I guess, is. There was a very good chance they were going to watch their friend die.
Right, because he had no safety equipment.
If one slip, it's it. It's over. And it came to the point where you could tell that he was kind of wondering if he even wanted anyone, around. But, in the end, I think several of them they set several cameras up on the ground. With telephoto lens, they could track him that way, and they had some cameras set up around the mountain, I guess remote controlled, and then someone was on top of them, on top of it, waiting for him.
So, did you feel like that you were climbing the mountain by the time the movie was over?
I was exhausted, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm sitting there in my recliner, my nice, comfy recliner, watching this guy climb this mountain. And I felt like I had run. Well, our marathon, was just last weekend, and I felt like I'd run a marathon. That being said, I highly recommend. If you want a good workout, folks, go watch it. It'll get your heart running or heart racing. That's for sure. Okay, so now my heart's kind of racing right now. We may need to move on to what is our topic going to be today? Have you thought about that? What's our main?
Well, 2019 in the Chinese zodiac is the year of the pig.
Okay.
But in terms of the box office, it's going to be the year of the rat. Or shall we say the year of the mouse?
The Disney slate.
Right.
The Disney slate. Well, it could very well be the year of the rat. I know that last year, Disney had a pretty good slate, and they took in 26%, I believe, is what I read. 26% of the box office, total box office last year, which was, I want to say there was like a tie for the next highest piece of the pie. And I can't remember what two studios tied at about 19% each of the box office grosses. But so Disney, how much money did they make worldwide last year? Was it $7.3 billion? And that was only their second best year. 2016 was their best year at $7.6 billion. And I do know this, no other studio has ever topped $7 billion domestically other than the house that the mouse built.
And like we've talked about in our two of our prior episodes, Disney should probably beat that this year.
Well, I think we should pull up. Let's pull up and see what those guys have got going on. I'm going to say, I remember us talking about it several episodes ago, and we had kind of posed the question. All right, so they top 20, so they're at 26%. Can Disney take 30%, close to a third of the total box office domestically this year? I'm going to say, I do know. So 26% last year, 20% the year before. So they upped it 6% last year. All I got to do is go 4 more %. All right. So what I see here is like a list of, I think they've got, it's either 10, it may be 11 now because, I think this was just announced yesterday from, when we're recording. Disney announced they were moving Maleficent up 7 months. It was initially scheduled to be released
next year.
Now they've moved it back to October the 18th. So they've got a pretty good list. All right, you ready for this?
I'm sitting down.
All right. Well, you need to be because here it comes. Captain Marvel coming out as of this recording tomorrow.
This weekend, yeah.
Dumbo on March 29th. The live, I guess the CGI / live action version. And then sometime in April, I'm not for sure when, there's going to be, the Disney Nature's got their movie out this year, Penguins. And then the 26th, this may do slightly better than Penguins. Avengers Endgame comes out April 26th.
I haven't heard of that one.
I hear it may be big. It's a sequel. There was a little movie last year, Avengers Infinity War. I don't know if you caught it.
I may have seen the commercial for it.
And then, speaking of commercials, so the next release after Avengers Endgame is Aladdin on May the 24th. Have you seen the commercial? Or have you seen the trailer for Aladdin?
I've seen the still of the blue genie, or Will Smith as the genie.
What'd you think of that?
Probably not the reaction that they wanted.
No, I don't think so. Well, I mean, I know. Look, a little honesty, a little disclosure here. I asked the Morganator this earlier, and he laughed a little bit harder than he did at that. So, and when I first saw the trailer, I laughed too. So I don't think that's probably the initial. It's not the laughter of we're not laughing with you.
Because I'm sure the movie's going to have comedic moments. I don't think that's one of them though necessarily.
Not necessarily the way not the comedy maybe that they were hoping for.
Right, laughing with instead of laughing.
Exactly.
At.
I still think it's probably going to do a fair amount.
It should.
Fair amount of business because I don't know if there's much opening. Oh, wait a minute. No, I tell you what. That may be the one. I tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and list some others. That may be the one, though, they have to worry about a little bit. All right. So the following month in June, we've got Toy Story 4. That might be good for $1 or $2.
Even though everybody thought the 3 would be the last one.
Well, yeah, they did. But from what I read, when they started kicking around this idea, and I can't remember how it came up, but I've heard some things, some things that Hanks and Alan have said about the movie that, well, we could be in for an emotional ride on that one.
Because all I've seen for the plot line, it's supposed to be a road trip, so it could be an emotional road trip.
An emotional ride. You're on. You're thinking. See, sometimes it takes me a second. Nice one. I'll give you a little mini applause for that. So the next film, another little CGI live action remake of another 90s Disney classic, The Lion King. That's gonna be huge.
It should be.
That's gonna be big.
It should be.
August 9th. Artemis Fowl. This is going to be one of the ones that I'm going to be very interested in. I'm sure Disney's going to be very interested in Artemis Fowl.
Yeah, when I saw the trailer at the time, I didn't know that it was a Disney movie.
Really? What did you think about that trailer, by the way? I liked it.
It looks slick. I liked it.
I agree. I thought it was like, it kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't know much about it. I was like, wait a minute, what's this? Oh, that looks good. So October from August 9th to October the 18th is where they've moved Maleficent. I never can say that. It's It's like me trying to say orchestra. Sometimes I have trouble. I don't know why saying orchestra. It's weird. Maleficent, right? Maleficent. Mistress of Evil. This is not an adult film. This is a Disney film. I don't know about that title.
So what's the Mistress
of Evil.
Of Evil.
Yes.
Okay.
And so November 22nd, we go on to another sequel to a animated film, Frozen 2. And look, I'm going to lay it out right here. I've never seen Frozen.
I did.
You have?
Uh-huh.
And?
It was good.
It was good. So it was good. Is it deserving of all of this, all the praise and accolades and money?
Well, in all fairness, I'm not probably the demographic that they were targeting.
What? Oh, I'm surprised.
But that being said, I enjoyed the movie.
Well, so I've got to ask you, Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just like, where did you see it? How did you come about?
Oh, HBO or
So it wasn't your nieces were over, or
No.
something like any. I've got to entertain.
No. No. It was of my own free volition.
Well, I've got it. My daughter has that movie somewhere around the house. So at some point before the movie, before Frozen 2 starts, I will be finding that movie. I will be getting it from her,
and then you'll be singing the songs in the movie.
Let's take this one step at a time. All right, we'll see where this leads to. And then finally, their throwaway movie of the year. They're just going to dump it at the end of the year. Star Wars Episode 9. So that's the Disney slate this year.
Wow.
Now, all this being said, and that looks like a formidable lineup. So far, we've been off to a less than stellar start this year at the box office, right? I mean, we're down. I think we're down from the same point last year, like 20-something%.
Well, there was some pretty high expectations for the movies that were coming out that those expectations were not met.
Not at all.
Early on.
Yeah, let's see here. I guess we can throw Glass in there. I'm not sure how much money it made. Certainly, critically, it wasn't. And again, disclaimer, haven't seen that yet. But I know that fell way short critically. What else? Seems like there was. I'm not sure how Alita Battle Angel has fared so far, at least domestically. I think it's done okay. I think it's done all right in the foreign markets, but
I hope so.
What was the price tag on?
It was pretty hefty.
Yeah. I never could get over I had a problem.
The eyes.
I never had a problem with the eyes. I did. Looked like, I can't remember the artist, but a couple of years ago, Tim Burton did a movie about, remember all the there was paintings of, these people that just had huge eyes, and it was disconcerting as a painting, and it's just disconcerting as a film, it looks like, too.
It goes back to the
uncanny valley.
Yes,
exactly. It's like, all right, everything looks okay. Oh, wait, no. no, the eyes. Something's terribly wrong here. A feeling of revulsion. So the year, maybe Disney's going to be the thing that is needed to turn this year around.
Mm-hmm. Roll up their sleeves and,
Well, in a lot of it, let's look. Most of the studios know to stay away from their bigger tentpole.
Mm-hmm.
And the movies that do get some competition, that have something opening against them, are they're counter-programmed. They're not, it's like they're not going to lose. Disney won't lose many eyes unless the lines are just so damn full that they go, I'm going to go check out this horror movie that's open. I'm going to go check out one of the two Chucky movies this year.
Ooh.
Child's Play. I think there's two. So
Disney could just open more screens.
Right. Yeah, they probably could. I'm looking here at the release, or at least, what we've got right now. And so I don't think there's not anything opening up big tomorrow against Captain Marvel. Everybody stayed away unless you count. I don't know how many screens Gloria Bell with Julianne Moore is going to open up on. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be much competition for Captain Marvel. So Dumbo, I don't see. Captive State is going to open up right now up against
Which is a
Dumbo,
sci-fi movie.
Which is a sci-fi movie, right? They're probably not going to. I don't know. I don't think they'll cross over too much. Plus, I don't know much about. Have you had a chance to look into Captive State any at all? John Goodman's in it, right?
Right. I've seen some of the footage.
What did it look like?
It looked like a little bit of Oblivion, a little bit of Annihilation.
Yeah, and probably not much. Not much to get in the way of Dumbo as well.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I think Dumbo's going to have to worry more about maybe just is Dumbo any good? Does Tim Burton come back to form?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been, for me at least, the last the last few outings have been questionable, and they haven't been quite up to his old standards. But I guess what I'm most worried about with Dumbo, I think it's certainly going to look good, and it's got a pretty good cast. You've got Colin Farrell, Eva Green, Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito. Those are all capable performers. But I'm more worried about the script. The script writer, and I can't recall his name right now, but I know I haven't been a big fan of some of the movies that he has written. I know he did Arlington Road and Reindeer Games, Imposter, The Skeleton Key, 3 Transformer movies, which may be, that may be how he's. I mean, those are big movies, but Ghost in the Shell. So I don't know. That's what's got me a little concerned about Dumbo, but it'll probably do fine financially. Let's see, Avengers Endgame. No one's going to. I don't see much up against that. Aladdin. Now here, okay. So what I've got, and this may not be accurate as of now. I'm not sure, but Ad Astra is scheduled to open that day. A sci-fi movie starring Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones, directed by James Gray, who did a pretty interesting movie a couple of years ago called The Lost City of Z. That movie is distributed. Ad Astra is distributed by 20th Century Fox, so I'm not sure if it's going to stay in that date or not. Also opening that same day is another sci-fi movie, although this is more horror-tinged, Brightburn with Elizabeth Banks, produced by James Gunn. I don't think either of those movies, if they do, remain at that date, I don't know that either one of those would pose much of a problem for Aladdin. Ad Astra maybe a little, but moving into the next month, June 21st, Toy Story 4 goes up against, as of now, Child's Play and The Grudge, remakes of horror movies.
Right.
So
no problem there.
No problem there. Everybody's staying away from The Lion King, and that's a good. I think we need to, before the show's over, we need to try to do a little predicting to see how we think these movies are going to, like, from top to bottom, what's going to gross the most to the least.
Okay.
Be thinking about that. And yeah, wait a minute, hold on. Star Wars, Cats actually opens up the same day as Star Wars does, so
I don't think Star Wars has anything to worry about.
You don't think Cats?
No.
Cats can't claw their way to the top of the box office that weekend?
Not that high. Not into outer space.
All right, so which one of these movies, what are you looking forward to the most in this? I mean, that's a potent little lineup there. Is there any one of these? Well, wait a minute. Surely it's going to be. What am I saying?
So do you want to take away the two obvious ones?
Well, all right. So Star Wars and
Avengers.
The Avengers. Yeah, let's
just take those off the table.
Right, that is off the table. Been pushed off onto the floor. Now we've got the rest to worry about. What say you? Which one are you most interested in?
Probably Toy Story 4.
Interesting. I thought you were going to go with The Lion King.
That was my second. I was tossing those back and forth.
Right.
I could go either way, but I'm really curious to see what they do with Toy Story 4, to see if they are going to treat it like a standalone, movie, or if it's going to be a lead-in to, say, another two Toy Story movies.
Another kind of cycle of Toy Story.
Right. And this one will be a bridge between the previous three. And
yeah, I haven't read much, to be honest. I haven't read much on it. I'm almost scared too. It's another one of those movies. Do I really want to know a whole lot going in? I know Tony Hale. Yeah, Tony Hale's going to voice a character called Forky, I believe. I know that, and I believe Key and Peele both have voices both have characters.
That should be interesting.
That should be interesting as well. And all right, so and you mentioned so you mentioned the will this lead up into like another trilogy?
It'd be like a transition. It's a road trip, so they could go from one geographic location to another across country.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. Why not go across country and make, hundreds of millions of dollars more? That's what not only Disney, everybody is looking to do that now. You build your look at what Marvel did. They had their overall plan, their 10-year plan that worked pretty well. And I think Disney's also looking to do that. They certainly are looking to do that with another of their new properties, Artemis Fowl.
Mm-hmm.
Artemis Fowl, I think there were 8 novels in that series, which is pretty close to the same amount of novels in the Harry Potter series, I think. Pretty close.
So is Artemis Fowl like book 1, or are they just kind of like...
That I'm not for sure. Now that you say that, I kind of thought at one point I had read that maybe they did condense some of the first couple of books in there. I'm not for sure.
Because that doesn't always work.
Doesn't. It sure doesn't. But I know they're thinking, well, there's eight novels to work with here. They've got to be thinking, if we can make this hit, we've got a good thing for the next decade, right? If this thing hits. So Kenneth Branagh is the director on this. And, he had a fair size hit with the remake of Murder on the Orient Express 2 years ago, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So he's capable. I don't know much about I don't know. I know Judi Dench is in the movie, and other than the trailer, which I thought was pretty cool looking, I don't know much. I never read any of the books, so
what are you looking forward to from the Disney slate?
From this slate? Well, there's a lot. Believe it or not, I think that may be the movie Artemis Fowl that I'm most curious about. It's just I really don't know what to expect. I like the trailer. It's a big question mark. A lot of these, look, they're slam dunks. It's just how much exactly are they going to make?
Right.
With that one, there's still a big question mark. Is it August? Late summer. Other than that, you know me. I'm the roll the dice kind of guy, the gambler.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbo is another one. I think. Well, I'm just very curious to see, can they late March? Can they put this together? How will it turn out? I think those are the two. Certainly the two that I'm most curious about. Star Wars. Look, Star Wars.
It's kind of a given.
Star Wars. And, wait. And the Avengers. I don't know. I can't make up my mind. I'm looking at this. I've got this in front of my eyes. I'm just kind of, my eyes are getting glossed over looking at all the hits.
Lion King, of course. You can't go wrong with at least most of those.
Why do you think they moved the Jolie movie up so far? Have you seen anything about that? I'm just looking at this. I'm just curious as to why. Maybe they decided they didn't have enough. All right, so Artemis Fowl out August 9th. Frozen 2 not out until November 22nd. They decided, well, we want to own every single month that we can.
Right. So I made a list of how the previous live action, or I guess in some cases CGI remakes have done.
All right.
So the first one looks like it was 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close as
right, Cruella de Vil,
which came out in '96, and I adjusted the money into 2018 terms, so it made $217 million at the box office.
Not too shabby.
Alice in Wonderland came out in 2010. It cleared over $334 million.
You know, I've yet to see that movie.
It's good.
That's one I need to check out.
And Through the Looking Glass, I guess, was a prequel.
Right. That
not near as good.
Right.
Then the first Maleficent came out in 2014. It made over $241 million. I forgot about this one. Cinderella, live action Cinderella, came out in 2015.
And if I'm not mistaken, Kenneth Branagh also directed that. So, so Disney, I guess. Well, obviously with those numbers, and I'm sure the budget on it wasn't that high. They like what they got from Kenny on that one.
Yeah, and it made over $200 million. Live action Jungle Book came out in 2016. It made over $364 million.
Right. I don't know why why in the world does Disney keep rehashing all these old?
And then the Beauty and the Beast came out in 2017. It made a whopping over $500 million.
Amazing. Didn't see that one either.
I've seen clips of it. I haven't seen it. I want to. It looks good from what I've seen.
I need to find my childhood. I don't know. A lot of I haven't seen a lot of animated movies over the last few years. Some of these Disney movies I haven't seen. What happened?
You got to find your inner child.
My inner child. My wife she's
didn't you
always complaining that my inner child is is on display way too much. I don't know what the problem is.
Now, didn't you see Christopher Robin?
No, I
thought you saw it.
No.
So apparently, it had a budget of $70 million, and it made just under $200 million
worldwide. Well, that's not a.
It's not a failure.
Not a fail, right? Yeah, it's not the success of the others, but by no means is it a failure. At least I don't look at it anymore. Sometimes I'm surprised by what people will, oh well, it made X amount of money and it cleared a good amount, but it'll still be a failure. It's
just your expectations, I guess.
It is, yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. But I think it's so. It is safe to say they probably don't have a lot to worry about.
No, they have a good track record.
That's a fairly good track record of
They seem to be know what they're doing, and it looks like from the research that you and I have done, they're not going to slow down doing the remakes.
Well, why would you?
Anytime soon.
Yeah, if it's working, there's no reason to stop it. Some people might complain, but when you're making that much cash, they don't care. Let's put the suits, the stockholders at Disney, they don't care. They're going to keep making, and that's just the game anyway.
Right.
That's just how it's done.
And people, give people what they want, and evidently they want more. So,
but eventually you've got nothing to cannibalize anymore, do you? What's left? So most of the big ones, I know we got Pinocchio coming up at some point, right?
And
Mulan next year, right? But
Lady and the Tramp, which I guess is just going to the streaming platform, the Disney Plus.
So that's going to be on Disney Plus or whatever,
unless it's changed. It's not getting a theatrical release.
So you don't think so? We're not going to have. Are they gonna? Yeah, when I was a kid, I remember going to see movies. My mom would take me to go see the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes or Candle Shoe or the North Avenue Irregulars. Are we going to get to the point where so they've got no ideas left? Let's go remake the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Well, they have a whole body of titles they can choose from. They can do.
I know. Super Dad.
They can do prequels, sequels, reboots, remakes. I mean, there's no
end to this madness. So, all right. So, how do we think? How do you think? How's this going to shake out? I want to test your prognostication powers. Wow, that does not come trippingly off the tongue, does it?
You said it better than I would have.
Oh, thank you. I want you to rank these movies coming out this year from top to bottom, or for bottom to top. I'll let you go.
I didn't realize we were having a quiz.
Yeah, well, you've got to be prepared. You are a film nobs, and you can tell. I think everyone out there can tell how prepared we are with our notes sometimes and our facts and figures. So, the big question is going to be, maybe we shouldn't go all 10, but definitely what's coming out number 1, the Avengers or Star Wars. Now, yes, I know. Avengers, the last Infinity War, made a few $100 million more, I guess, than the last Jedi movie, the last Star Wars movie. But even knowing that, is there any way? Look, this last one, Episode 9, this is supposed to complete the Luke Skywalker saga. This is big. People have waited 40 years basically for this. Is there any way, in your estimation, that Star Wars can figure out a way to top the Avengers?
It's a tough one. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, probably not, for a couple of reasons, right? I mean, the Avengers is, in the middle, well, not in the middle, but it's in summer. It's in a climate more conducive, I guess it seems like, to movie going at the theater. Review wise, and I guess fan wise, the last Star Wars film didn't measure up to a lot of people's expectations, whereas the Avengers movie did. It seemed like it satisfied most people that I know.
Well, it's also going to be interesting because not only is Star Wars winding down, but so is Avengers. I mean, this is Endgame, so this is like this is the culmination of what we've been waiting for 10 years
right,
through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's just a matter of who's more excited about what? Right. To see the end of Star Wars or the end of Avengers?
Right. Well, and that should be, like I say, that should be interesting. And hopefully both movies will, there's a lot riding on both these films. A lot of, not only money, of course, but just a lot of people's hopes and expectations spread out over a large number of years.
And both have some follow-up questions, too. It's like, what are they going to do with Star Wars next? And what are they going to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe next?
Right. And it does seem like, I don't know, seems like Disney may have been looking at Marvel like a lot of people are, and how they dealt with their long-term plan for, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't know if Disney's plan so far with Star Wars has worked to the same degree. Does that make sense?
I think
maybe a little bit more troubled.
Well, plus the Marvel Universe just maybe bigger in terms of scope and what stories they can pick from.
Well, true. Yeah, you've got a lot more right. You've still got a limited amount of characters in the Star Wars universe, right?
Right.
So yeah, there probably is a lot more.
Because the Skywalker storyline is pretty much the main storyline,
right?
I mean, you have the prequels where they're all about Anakin, and then the original three that we grew up with was about Luke Skywalker. Okay, so
I think we both feel the Avengers will probably outperform.
It should, just based on the comparison between the Infinity War and Episode 8.
So what about? And I know we've talked about this before, and I've kind of hesitated a little bit on guessing numbers. And I'm not going to. I won't ask exact numbers on those movies. They're going to be huge. Both of those movies should, they'll be over $1 billion worldwide this time. I think this Star Wars movie, what was it? The last one made 1.3. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. So it's certainly going to. But what about The Lion King? Let me ask you about that. How big can that go? I really just, if that movie's done right, if the reviews are good, How big can that movie get?
I don't think it's going to beat, Star Wars necessarily.
Can it crack $1 billion? Can it do that well, or is it just not? Is the property just not?
Well, the animated one did really well.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know what kind of number. Well, all right. What about the Jungle Book? Let's say, what did the Jungle Book do worldwide? Do we know that?
So the Jungle Book made $966 million. The original Lion King has made $968 million. So I guess that includes the re-release or re-releases.
Yeah, that's not exactly the that's not the first run through. That's everything. Those are still pretty. And regardless, I don't know how much is tacked on. You're still getting close to $1 billion throughout. So
is the Lion King going to give Star Wars a run for its money?
Well, see, I'm really rooting for. I love, of course, I'm a big Star Wars fan, as I know you are.
Right.
But part of me wants to go, that would be a pretty amazing, pretty amazing story if it did.
Because the Lion King is kind of like Titanic, because you know the story already, so you don't know the story for episode 9 exactly.
Right. I don't know. I don't think it can. But I've been wrong before when asked about box office numbers. That would be an amazing. It's going to be huge. I've just got some kind of feeling about that movie that it's going to be big.
There's a lot of love for the Lion King.
There is a lot of love for the Lion King. Look, through the years, it's lived on not only, of course, in re-releases and whatnot, but look at the play,
right,
Broadway play that eventually, went across country. I've seen it, and it was a wonderful play. So yeah, it stayed around, in the public memory. So be very, very interesting to see how that does.
So between Dumbo and Aladdin, what do you think is going to win out?
Part of me wants to say Dumbo, because again, I'm certainly not sold on what I've seen. Look, and it's not very much. Who knows? It's hard to, I can laugh, and I certainly have, at that trailer and what little bit I saw of Blue Will Smith. But it, who knows? It may work. I think it will outgross it regardless. It's just it's in a better spot. It's positioned in a better spot to do so. So yeah, unless Dumbo is just somehow this fantastic, it was a return to form for Tim Burton and gets rave reviews, things like that. But other than that, nah. Okay, so you tried to put me on the spot, numbers wise, box office wise. So let me throw it back at you. Here's one. What's going to do better, Toy Story 4 or Frozen 2?
I think this was harder than the one I gave you.
Well, that's what I do. I got to find those tough questions, and you've got to answer those tough questions.
Okay, so Toy Story 1 made $373.5 million. Toy Story 2 made $497 million. Toy Story 3, which came out in 2010, made around $1.1 billion.
$1.1 billion total for Toy Story 3.
Right, which came out in 2010.
Okay.
Now, Frozen came out in 2013.
All right, fairly close. I say, for some reason I was thinking there was a bigger gap there, but there you go.
And it made around $1.3 billion.
So it
outperformed
it by a couple $100 million.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was going to be the other way around. I forget how popular Frozen was, though.
It was extremely
popular. So, there you go. What wins this war? Can Toy Story 4 reclaim?
It's going to be close. I would think that Frozen 2 would beat it again. Maybe just barely, but I think it's going to outperform it. I think the nostalgia factor is bigger for Frozen 2 than it would be for Toy Story 4.
You think the nostalgia factor would be stronger for the newer release? And plus, I mean, Toy Story's been around remember, it started out in 1995.
Right.
And you've got, aging but still beloved stars like
I guess I'm just thinking about maybe the primary demographics. I could see, parents taking their kids to see Toy Story 4, but maybe kids not taking parents to see Frozen 2.
Yeah, I think that is probably a tougher one. I'm going to, I don't know. Let's just, I'm just going to let you answer that. I'll let you hang out to dry on that one. You're going with girl power, and I am fine with that. There's a lot of girl power out there right now, and I can see that. I can see it, but that'll be a tough one.
So shall we do some more girl power and pit Captain Marvel against Maleficent?
Oh, yeah, that's good. I'm going with Captain Marvel there. Although, I don't know, Maleficent, you told me how much how much was it? It was a good bit more than I remembered. I guess I don't pay attention to enough of the numbers as far as movies that are aimed more towards younger audiences.
It made just under $760 million.
God lands. 760.
So what could we compare Captain Marvel to?
That's a good question. What can we compare Captain Marvel
Wonder
to?
Woman?
Yeah.
Would that be a good comparison?
I think that probably would be that's very fair. Both female superheroes, both directed, I believe, this particular movie directed by a female. The first Marvel movie to be directed by a female.
So Wonder Woman made just over $821 million.
$821 for Wonder Woman.
Versus $758. So.
Well, it's close.
It's close.
I guess I'm just going to have to go. I'm probably just going on my own personal interest level. I didn't see the first Maleficent, so I'm going to go with Captain. I am interested in Captain Marvel, I'm picking the superhero. You're going to pick the super villain?
I'll go with the super villain.
Well,
I'm a huge Angelina Jolie fan, so.
Well, yeah, I don't have any problem with Angelina either. That'll be another good. Maybe. So these are the questions that may be more burning to. It's not going to be. They're not worried probably about if these movies are going to be all right.
Right.
Just, hey, which one outperforms the other?
And the crazy thing is, Disney's going to win either way.
Either way. Well, takes money to make money, right? So they say. May be right. All right, so we've decided in this show that, okay, well, we're split on whether, Captain Marvel will beat the supervillain Maleficent. We're saying that Frozen 2 will outperform Toy Story 4.
Right.
We're saying that the Avengers will outperform Star Wars.
Right.
We said that
Dumbo should outperform Aladdin.
Well, it should. I don't think it will. No, I think Aladdin will outperform.
Okay.
I think Aladdin will outperform it. And let's see, what else have we decided? What else have we come up with this show? Well, I guess basically that Disney, again.
It's the year of the mouse.
It's the year of the mouse. So I guess there is one more question I'll ask you. And I guess I will ask all of you out there, can Disney break that 30%? Can Disney own 30% of the market this year?
I think yes.
You think they break it?
I think they do.
I will concur with that. I think that they. Okay, so Disney's best year, any studio's best year, 2016, where Disney made $7.6 billion, I believe. Will they break 8 this year?
The estimates that I've seen, they expect it to break 8.
How high? How do you think it can go?
Maybe 8.2.
So barely, you think barely over 8? All right, I'll go just to be different. I'll go with 8.5. I think they can go 8.5. They'll beat 30 and go 8.5. I'll tell you, a lot of numbers. We've dealt with a lot of numbers today. But one number that we've got to deal with right now is the number of minutes in this particular episode. It's coming. I think it's coming up to an end. However, before we're completely out of time, I'm pretty curious about what our listeners out there have to say and think about what we've talked about this episode. How in the world, Rick, Mr. Morganator, how would they get a hold of us?
Well, they can check us out on social media. They can find us on Twitter at Film Nobs. They can look on our Facebook page. They can check out our YouTube channel. They can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Libsyn, and Podbean.
So there's no shortage of ways that people can let us know and, let us know what they're thinking, because I am truly interested in what people out there have to say about the House of Mouse this year. It's going to be interesting.
They can also check out our Pinterest board, too, if they want to post pins of movie posters.
That sounds like another fine idea. All right. Well, sounds like we've got all of this covered. We know exactly, we've been able to parse exactly what's going to go down for Disney this year. And now our listeners are going to correct us and tell us what's really going to happen. So I guess with all of that, once again, on behalf of the Morganator, I thank you so much for tuning in and listening. It means a whole lot to us. We love what we're talking about. And so until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care.